From far and wide, Oilers fans, this is Dolany TV. And welcome back to another Edmonton Oilers discussion here on Dolany TV. I'm Tyson. Today, you know what, I've teased this topic for a couple of days now, and I've mulled it over, and I'm sitting here thinking, I've talked with a couple of you guys, and it really is a tough topic for the Oilers to discuss for us as fans, for the team as in what the team needs, and a team from an organizational point of view, in which how do you build this team from here on out? Because obviously the key questions are, going into the trade deadline, it's not so much about what the team looks like after the trade deadline for the whatever 18, 19 games that'll be left. That's obviously not what this team is looking at when it goes to the trade deadline approach at this point. Yes, realistically, we have a chance at the playoffs. We can still get it done, maybe, possibly, who knows. However, the question realistically is what this team looks like next season. And if this team is going to look like something next season, you're going to have to start figuring out where your points, where your goals are going to start coming from. And with a team that's as close to the cap ceiling, I guess the word cap ceiling is what I'm looking for. Sorry, the dog's sketching me out. However, like I said, with the cap ceiling, you got to figure out what this team can do to make sure they have scoring next year. Now, obviously, we can sit here and mull over exactly what happened last night with a wide open net and a man in front with a glorious chance to score. He's already got 17 goals on the season, and here somehow he misses the net and it remains a scoreless game. So yes, I'm talking about Alex Chiasson in this video. Obviously a great setup, I think, by my part. I don't know if I had you guys on the rope or what, but not to toot my own horn and have a little bit of fun, I've been thinking about that one all day and that really paid off. However, didn't pay off for Alex Chiasson last night, and that's kind of what the tough discussion becomes, right? Obviously, the issue is, do you take a gamble on a guy for next season who's on a $650,000 contract this year, but also the simple fact that he scored 17 goals but hasn't scored one in however long? It's a tough decision because you look at it mathematically. 17 goals gone on a cold streak. I mean, even if you get 10 out of them next year, it's good. But with cap, how do you go about that? Oh man, do you run a $1.75 million contract for someone who might only score 10 goals next year? Like, oh man, that's a tough decision. Where does Alex Chiasson play? How does he slot into the lineup next year? A lot of questions immediately as you start looking at the numbers for Alex Chiasson. However, the big thing you got to look at when it comes to the Oilers is where would they be this season without him. Now, yes, all of a sudden, now I've enraged well, he won't do it again next year camp. And I understand that. I just addressed that, right? It's a gamble either way. You either get rid of him at the trade deadline and you say, wash our hands, but there goes your scoring for potentially all of this season and next season, right? You lose depth scoring, which this team, guys, as we saw last night, is so badly hurting for, right? McDavid's on the lineup in a game that easily should have been winnable for us had McDavid been in the lineup if we got that effort out of everyone else the way they did. However, we lose in a shootout, get the loser point. I'm not going to say it was a terrible effort. I didn't like the effort in the first and second. I was very vocal about it. The effort in the third was much better. For Alex Chiasson, though, he is the Oilers' 5th leading point getter this season. And the one thing that is promising about Alex Chiasson, obviously he had something to prove this year, coming in on a PTO and getting a contract, all that. Alex Chiasson has his 2nd highest point season in his career. It goes all the way back to 2013-14 with the Dallas Stars. That's how long ago Alex Chiasson had his career high, and that was 35 points. So, I mean, with 50 games played for him this year, and you take the gamble, whatever, we got 23 left remaining, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, we got 23 remaining. You sit here and think, well, you know what, if he can score 8 points in 23 games, all of a sudden he's got a career high. How do you not take a gamble? But that's the thing. With Alex Chiasson as a UFA at the end of the year, how long can you sit here and gamble when the trade deadline is on Monday? That's the question. Can you gamble on him for the next couple of days? Because here's the thing. We have our schedule. Man, I'm saying that a lot. I feel like a broken record, but there's a lot of things to talk about with Alex Chiasson at this point. So our trade deadline schedule is, we've got 2 games left. New York Islanders and Anaheim Ducks. And easily 2 losses there. It is just massive cuts, massive sell, just crap this team together kind of deal after the trade deadline. However, if Alex Chiasson somehow survives all that, whether we win, lose, whatever the case may be, then he suits up against Nashville, and we see what the gamble pays off, right? Because obviously we're looking for him to steady our roster for the rest of the season, and if you keep Alex Chiasson past the deadline, you're risking the chance of him walking for more money than we can offer somewhere else, but at the same rate, he loves it in Edmonton by most reports, so why wouldn't he want to stay? Right? There's some rub your chin and kind of ask the questions when it comes to Alex Chiasson at this point, but with the deadline so close, him being a UFA, I didn't name him in my trade deadline video because there is just too much upside, too much gamble, too much question mark kind of stuff to really ask yourself about Alex Chiasson at this point. You really don't know which way the Oilers are going to go on this, because no matter what they do, it's kind of they're hooped essentially, because you take a gamble on Alex Chiasson at the deadline, you keep him, he walks in the offseason. You take a gamble on Alex Chiasson, you sign him for a contract, he doesn't finish the job next year. Rudy, please get down. Rudy, please behave. Please behave, buddy. I'm trying to get the video done. And there we go. Oh my goodness. I'm probably gonna have to come back to this, guys. But exactly. So that's the question for Alex Chiasson, is how much of a gamble do you take on a guy that's in a UFA and you're in sell mode at the deadline? Obviously, we saw it with Patrick Maroon. We knew we weren't keeping Patrick Maroon past next season, or past last year. That was pretty clear, so we offloaded him for a pick. Now, does Keith Gretzky feel inclined to make such a same deal for Alex Chiasson, who could be for a cup contending team? This is the thing with Alex Chiasson, is he is a guy who can elevate up and play different roles in the lineup and do everything differently for a team, right? He can be a top line scoring, crash the net winger. That's not a problem for Alex Chiasson. We've seen it with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. But at the same rate, what do you get from him if you're going to play him on the second line? Well, you get a steady Eddie guy who goes out there and competes most nights and gets shots on net. Okay, that's his second line play. Now his third line play, well, third line, he's a guy that doesn't mind banging the body a little bit. He can get to the greasier areas, and again, same as the top line, bang them in from in front. Okay, now you look at it from a power play standpoint, and you're sitting here looking, okay, well, he can crash and bang in front of a power play, and man, if we have heavy cannons from the blue line, which the Oilers have cannons from the blue line that just don't use them or accurately enough, so what do you do in that scenario, right? Like, Alex Chiasson's very valuable to a team that can play him in any of those roles, or 2 of 4, right? 2 of 4 roles, and Alex Chiasson's suddenly worth a third, maybe even a second round pick, depending what he does in the next 2 games. I'm like, imagine Alex Chiasson goes out there, the Oilers lose both games, but he scores a hat trick against New York and puts up 2 assists or puts up 2 points against the Anaheim Ducks. 5 points, I know that's asking a lot out of him of late, but anything's possible in hockey. Suddenly his value goes sky high because he's a UFA, and suddenly Keith Gretzky's sitting here, man, I can cash in. And I mean, we've had some good luck in the draft the past few years. Maybe we take our chances, get a good chip, and go and get this job done in the draft. Well, sounds good. Will it work? I don't know. But, right, that's again, the gamble on Alex Chiasson is risk, reward, reward, risk. It's all a tough decision for the Oilers to make on a guy like Alex Chiasson at this point. And for me personally, I guess I've laid out absolutely everything I could possibly think of when it comes to Alex Chiasson in an Oilers uniform or leaving the Oilers at this point. The only thing I can say is, as some of you have pointed out, why would you trade Chiasson when he's a big-time scorer on your team, top 5 point getter? Well, right, I'm leaning more towards, if the value's there, trade him. But that's the same with any player in the NHL. If the value is there, why wouldn't you, before he has the chance to leave in UFA free agency at the end of June, why would you be boneheaded enough to let him walk for free? Right? That's the question. Why would you be boneheaded enough to just let a great asset, which Alex Chiasson, as much as everyone can make of he hasn't scored lately, he won't do it again next year. He is a great asset for the Edmonton Oilers. Low cap hit. Like, there is a lot that could be done for the Oilers at the deadline if Alex Chiasson is shipped out. Third round pick and maybe a semi-good prospect, depending on where his value is to the right team. I trust Keith Gretzky to make the right trade. I hope Keith Gretzky can make the right trade. But like I said, the gamble's there to keep him as well. So we'll see. And I mean, there's also the possibility that I haven't gotten to, that you trade him away at the deadline under onus that he's coming back in the offseason. We've seen that in the NHL multiple times. Why not go that way? I don't know, guys. You're going to have your say in the comments section below. I'm Tyson, this is Stalling the TV. The dog's going to kill me if I don't take him outside to use the washroom. I am up on out of here.